Nice. All right, now we have a little bit of news coming out of Relicblades, Ben. What's going on there?
Cool, yeah. So the guys at Metal King Studio have done a fantastic sort of fantasy adventure skirmish game called Relicblade, and it was previously quite hard to get hold of, but it's now available in sort of the UK and Europe thanks to a guy named Infamous JT, which is very cool. But this is the news that they're going to be bringing out another Kickstarter campaign to add a few more warbands into the mix, and the first of these is this awesome-looking wilderness group called the Lostwood Enclave. Now, I talked about this week the fact that I'm kind of being drawn to a lot of stuff from Westphalia Miniatures at the minute with their sort of feral elves, and Wartblock have kind of been pushing me that direction as well. But when I saw these and then realised that it was for Relic Blades 2, I was very, very won over. And as you can see, some of the miniatures they've been working on are just stunning. The Wood Elf Pathfinder looks absolutely fantastic. It goes into one of those things that I always really like about skirmish games, where you have to make the models feel dynamic. Because you've got a game with so few miniatures on the table, you've got to make sure that all of them feel like they're doing something in those moments. And so when you see miniatures like this, where you've got like this elf leaping through the woods, firing the bow, it just sort of brings the game to life and has that kind of cinematic feel to it, which I thought was really cool. And it has tree men. There's a tree man. The Arbalest Sentinel looks amazing. It looks absolutely cool.
I think Ben's a little bit excited for this one.
Yeah. Even things like the shoulder blade there on the tree man, where it looks like it's actually been made from layers of fungus.
Yeah, that's very, very cool. It's nice to see something that's very different. Whenever you see tree men mostly sculpted and stuff, it's kind of a little bit of a riff on the ants from Lord of the Rings, but this guy feels very different to that, which I'm really digging.
It's definitely going down that idea of the wild wood that we've seen from Games Workshop bring to life with the Sylvaneth and stuff, which I thought was really cool.
Yes.
And so yeah, it's been really cool seeing it to come there. The other warband that they're actually going to be throwing to the mix as well is a bunch of dwarves called the Moldorf Expedition. And this is sort of playing with the idea of dwarves in a nice way. So you've actually got a wizard, a rogue, and a fighter in there, which I thought was really cool. So it's sort of showing off that dwarves aren't just all a bunch of guys in heavy plate armor in mines.
That's wrong. Dwarves don't do magic.
Yes, they
dwarves
do.
hit people.
Yes, they do. Who told you dwarves don't do magic?
I did. My dwarves don't do magic.
Even dwarves in Warhammer, they do use magic. They just make sure it's safe in runes. So
yes. Or if you go far enough back in Warhammer, there were wizards. Dwarven wizards.
Yeah.
I still have some. They were all great. Level 25 dwarven wizards. I'll have 4 of those, please. Say goodbye to your army.
The good old days.
But yeah, sort of going back to Relic Blade just for a second, just in case anyone doesn't know, it's a really cool sort of fantasy skirmish game that kind of goes along the same sort of route as what we're looking at with Rangers of Shadow Deep, where you've got this idea of you playing as a warband and then the other player playing as another warband in this world, and so your group are adventuring out there, sort of trying to like rob ruins and all that kind of thing of their treasure. Where you've got things like pig orcs getting involved with it too, and you've got other kind of crazy undead creatures there as well. So if you haven't looked at Relic Blade, I would highly suggest it because the miniatures look really good, and the rule book actually is great because it's all done in that kind of old school Mordheim fashion where there's loads of stuff happening in the margins, which I always really like. So go and check that out. So.
And if you're curious, we normally do stop off with these guys whenever we go to events like Gen Con and stuff, and they're there just to see what the latest and greatest is from them. So if you have a look back through some of our con coverage, we should have some videos with them there.